Hi, everyone, and a special welcome to all the possible visionaries who've been coming to the forum lately. I've seen the surge of new visitors, and I want you to know how much I appreciate your curiosity and your courage. Stepping into this kind of unbelievable event for the first time can feel like entering a whole new world. There's a lot to explore: the reverse songs, learning the accents of the budgies, and of course the dream transcriptions, which can become a rabbit hole all on their own. And if you've already visited theangelscrolls.com, you know just how deep that rabbit hole can go. But here's the part that matters most. Many of you are going to discover that God and his angels have already or will be communicating with you, maybe in ways you didn't recognize until now. Whether it's through reverse songs, avian speech, or dream communication, these are not just spiritual curiosities. They are active, living channels that reveal what a close relationship with God actually feels like when he speaks directly into your life. And today, we're going even deeper. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how the traditional theories of Sigmund Freud, the foundation of modern dream analysis, are evolving. Freud opened the door, but he only saw a fraction of the landscape. What we're uncovering now includes symbols you may have never heard before, patterns that don't appear in any psychology textbook, and a whole new way of understanding dreams. Whether they're scary, unsettling, prophetic, vivid, or arrive as visions, dreams are not random, they're not meaningless, and they're not just psychological leftovers from your day. They are structured, symbolic, and often divinely guided. When you learn how to decode them using the updated symbolic framework we'll explore today, you begin to see how God communicates warnings, confirmations, encouragement, and spiritual truth through the language of the spiritual world. And I want to share something interesting with you. When Linda and I go back and listen to these reversals, they seem to be getting clearer. Not just slightly clearer, but sometimes so clear that it barely feels like you're listening to something in reverse at all. It's as if the message is stepping forward, revealing itself more boldly each time. Now, I've been thinking about why that might be happening. Is it because more people are beginning to hear them, creating a kind of quantum observation effect where collective awareness sharpens the signal? Or is it simply that our own abilities, our spiritual hearing, our intuitive perception are evolving as we continue to explore and believe in the messages? I don't have the final answer yet, but what I can say is this: something is happening, something measurable, repeatable, and unmistakably real. A phenomenon that doesn't fit neatly into psychology or physics, and one that only God and the angels can truly produce and explain. So today we're going to explore all of it: the dreams, the symbols, the budgie messages, the reversals, and the growing clarity that seems to be unfolding right alongside the awakening of the people who are listening here. I'm going to start off with a song by Angelic Voice, along with a reversal from him called Can't Let You Go. You may or may not have heard of him before, but believe me when I say that both the forward version and the reversal are beautiful. The reversal is especially remarkable in context, and I think it's clear enough that most of you will be able to understand a good portion of it. Let's hear Angelic Voice's Can't Let Go.
That's not so infernal. All the man. Of the wolf, and all who's knit must. Oh, he big, yeah, for the sea, but I can't see it. Yeah, for me to them, yeah, need a bit, yeah, to my colors. Yeah, for the moon, yeah, we never be given no. It'll show the shabby, if the wise yeah, but the lamb, little bottle, nothing. Hey, office has niemand roof. On, and I wish last face now. Those that's how we do the straw more off now. No green and cross those sleep facts and muddy cash. Straw to the off. Okay, on it over time or did I must. Almost like on snake ash, that's my ribs and it ash time such. Oh,
Perhaps it feels unsettling at first to hear the angels speak so openly about evil trying to challenge these reversals, and even more unsettling when you experience that resistance yourself. But there's a reason it happens. Out there, whether you're in a religious forum, a paranormal group, or any space where people debate spiritual experiences, you'll find many who will try to discredit what you're hearing. Some will shrug it off as nonsense. Some will mock it. And some, knowing full well that the communication is real, will use fear-based religious arguments to convince you that you're not hearing angels at all, or even claim that what you're hearing must be evil spirits. The truth is simple. You either believe it or you don't. This comes from a heavenly source, and the angels are talking about creating a new, universal spiritual religion that comes straight from heaven. But here's what I've noticed over the years. The people who don't believe rarely bring the same passion, curiosity, or openness that true visionaries do. They don't take the time to learn the patterns, the phrasing, or the symbolic language the angels use. Meanwhile, those who do hear it, even faintly at first, often find themselves drawn deeper. They begin recognizing the consistency, learning the language, and experiencing the joy of a closer relationship with God and the angels themselves. For me, it took a long time to fully trust what the angels were saying. I questioned everything. And when they told me, through budgie reverse speech, that the group of 12 people I was working with at the time would soon begin having vivid dreams and visions, I was honestly skeptical. But within a day or two, every single person in that group experienced exactly what had been described. And with the help of the angels, I was given the ability to translate what those dreams meant. An interesting part of all this is that Linda, who was one of the very first people in that group, eventually became my co-founder and my spouse, and now we have a 17-year-old child together. She always told me she never dreamed, or at least never remembered her dreams, before that moment. But the day after I said the group would begin dreaming, she had her very first one. Each time I translated a dream, whether it was my own or someone else's, there was always a prophetic element woven into it. The dreams would point to an event that would show up in the newspaper within a couple of days, or something that would unfold directly within the group. Members began having similar dreams, often connected in sequence, each one adding another piece to the message before the prophecy finally revealed itself. Remember, this was nearly 20 years ago. The internet was much safer then than it is today. Now, you have to be far more cautious, especially if you're younger. Never assume that people you meet online are who they say they are. Unless you've met face-to-face and learned about their background, it's risky, and even then, never meet anyone alone. There are safer ways to connect and start a small study group if you're interested, especially in school or higher education settings. The goal of this religion is to eventually have hundreds, if not thousands, of study groups across the world following this work. Dreams and visions can open that door. Many people are curious about their dreams and what they mean, and once your group begins, following some of the lessons and recordings here, God and the angels will often speak to you collectively, sending sequential dreams to different members. Our goal is for them to be discussed in a forum that you or one of your group creates where you can share your testimony of how God and the angels communicate with you and how following their direction has changed your life, not to mention the incredible sense of connection your group will experience. Please don't ask me to translate your dreams. I no longer have time for that, and I will never email you, especially to ask for money, or unless you've contacted me first to explain what you're doing or how you'd like to help evolve this religion. You're essentially on your own to find ways to encourage others to listen, but I would be interested to hear what miracles happen in your life as you dig deeper into this religion. What you learn here will help you recognize when evil is approaching and guide you away from it. Also, be careful about emails and messages online. Some people may try to impersonate others or cause trouble. Stay alert and choose your friends wisely. Seek those who are open to learning and growth, not those who cling to narrow-minded thinking. That being said, now let's get back to what was happening at the time I was transcribing dreams and visions for the group. My biggest fear during that time was that I would translate a dream incorrectly, that I would say something would happen and it wouldn't. I worried people would think I was a fraud or that I was just making up interpretations instead of truly being connected to something divine. But looking back now at those dream transcripts, the lessons inside them, the accuracy of the prophecies, and the way everything eventually came to fruition, it's clear that I was connected to something heavenly. Even in the moments when I thought there's no way this translation or this prophecy could possibly come true, it did. And each time, it revealed exactly why the message had been sent in the first place. The dreams were happening so quickly and with so many people that I ended up spending hundreds, if not thousands, of hours translating them. Each dream transcription would take 4 to 6 hours in what I call receival with the angels. It became incredibly time-consuming, and I'll admit there were moments when the workload stressed me out, but I kept going for years because every dream and every symbol within those dreams was being explained by the angels themselves, who made it clear that they were the ones sending them. And every dream had a divine lesson as well, which was explained by them in the translation. You might think it would be difficult to learn what all those symbols meant, but in reality it wasn't. When the meaning comes directly from the source, the learning becomes natural, almost effortless, and that's exactly what happened. So today, I'm going to start revealing some of that symbolic language to you. We'll begin with about 10 foundational symbols, just enough to give you a solid understanding of how your dreams communicate, what they're trying to show you, and how they can help you build a deeper connection with God and the angels. Many of you will begin to have these dreams because the channel has been opened, and these symbols will help you to understand what they mean. The first thing you need to understand is this. When you're confused about something or facing a problem in your life, all you have to do is ask God for help, and then be open to Him sending you a dream that shows He's listening. It doesn't have to be about clasped hands or kneeling down in prayer. You can reach out to God and the angels at any moment, even quietly before sleep, simply by being sincere in your heart. No matter how big or small your plea, God will hear you, and if not directly, the angels surely will. Perhaps even the future version of you, already angelic in spirit, is there beside you, gently guiding your way. The second thing is that once you're open, once that channel is activated, the dreams you receive will almost always carry a spiritual or religious nature. They will represent something connected to your relationship with God. For example, a house in a dream is the house of religion. The furniture inside represents what you feel comfortable with or uncomfortable with in your beliefs. The people inside that house are either friends or foes in your spiritual journey. Climbing a mountain means you're climbing the mountain of religion, striving toward heaven. Falling down that mountain is a warning that something in your beliefs or actions could affect you negatively unless corrected. Being lost in a dream means you're in confusion about something that is happening in your life right now, and you may not even know it. Finding something means clarity or spiritual understanding is returning. Being in or driving any kind of vehicle represents traveling in the vehicle of religion, sometimes alone, sometimes with others. Throughout life, we move with or without our spiritual foundation, and dreams reflect that. An unsettling dream, especially one where you're doing something you know is wrong and you wake up relieved it wasn't real, is a direct warning. It's heaven's way of saying, be careful. You're approaching a path that could harm you. Being chased in a dream means you are either being manipulated or chased by something that is evil, or in better terms, something that will devolve your spiritual evolution. Often it will give you an idea of what that something is and what to watch out for in the future. Climbing a ladder into the clouds is a powerful sign that you're moving in the right direction, rising toward clarity and higher purpose. But the meaning deepens when you pause to feel what was stirring inside you at that moment. Were you calm, inspired, or uncertain? Dreams often weave action and emotion together, using symbols like this ladder to mirror your inner progress and reveal how your spirit feels about the journey itself. There are hundreds more symbols, each explained within the interpretations I've done over the years. Many of these symbols were given specifically for this religion, and you can explore them on my website, theangelscrolls.com. Just click on the Q&A tab at the top, go to the Dream Finder, enter the symbol you're curious about, and you may discover the meaning you've been searching for. But these examples will give you a solid starting point for recognizing when a dream is sent from God and when your critical thinking needs to be realigned with heaven. So now, I'm going to share a dream I translated, one that includes several additional symbols to help deepen your understanding. March 20th, 2008, at 8:28 p.m., Bill said, "I had a dream I held a golden key. It was so beautiful to look at. It was not like a regular key. In the dream, I was looking at myself from a side view holding the key. But when I looked at the key, I was looking at it in my hands, looking down at it, not from a side view. I hope this makes sense." Posted by Ryan, March 22nd, 2008 at 8:15 a.m. Hi, Bill and everyone. This is quite an amazing dream, prophecy, and transcript. It helps to explain some of the things that we have learned in the past, as well as some new revelations. It is a prophecy because you posted this dream on the 20th of March and you asked this question on the 21st of March. The dream actually answered your question before you posted it. Here is the question you asked. I would like to know why you need to get your insight or interpretations from angels and not from the Lord. As Daniel told King Nebuchadnezzar, it's God, the Lord, that we get all knowledge from. Sorry for any typos. My word software is not working very well again. Ryan's note, God and his angels have given us prophecies like this many times before, and it will happen many times again in this forum. Transcription by Ryan on March 22nd, 2008. Bill, we have an answer to why Ryan often has the angels instead of God speaking to him. You have posted a dream about this golden key. It was sent as a prophecy to answer your question here, for God and the angels know every single thing that each one of us will do in the future. When something lives in the metaphysical, we can always move back and forth from the past to the future. Therefore, the angels will always know what your question will be beforehand. Also, God has eternity to answer all questions that each one of us may have on earth. This is how God can have a personal relationship with each one of us. However, God also has a relationship with all the angels who have volunteered to help him in heaven as well. Now, you had a dream of a beautiful golden key. This was a symbol of the relationship you have with God. And God represents this key. Why is God represented by this key? We know God is surrounding everything in life, and he will make an effort to inspire you spiritually. But inspiration is not the same thing as really knowing God and getting the truth from him. So we will see God from a different angle depending on how spiritual we are. The angels have seen God and have learned a lot from him. Ryan said there is a reason for the angels in heaven to communicate with him often instead of God directly. It shows that the angels understand God's reasoning because they experience it themselves. God is the highest level of spiritual evolution, and everything we have comes from him. And this is the angel's testimony to his greatness and his love. God prefers us to teach others about the miracles he has made throughout eternity, and this is why you are looking at this key from a different angle. This angle is a symbol of spiritual perception. It depends on our spiritual perception how we see God. We can either be inspired by the things that he has created and know these things from God are the key to being with him in heaven, or we can give testimony to the wonderful things he has given all of us. Now, Ryan has a relationship with God, and many of his visionaries have different relationships. Ryan knows that the angels know God in heaven, and these angels are helping him here. So there is no reason to expect that God would want to take away these testimonies of the angels. When God wants Ryan to know something, he will tell the angels so they can pass it on. This is the spiritual way of God, which is reflected here in this form of religion, and it spiritually helps relationships to grow. When we go to heaven, there will be many souls who know us and love us there. so God will not be the only one who will be with you. We hope this explanation will satisfy your needs. And remember that the key is not just learning from God alone, for you may have a different perspective. Through the grace of God, He allows us to learn from each other through His guidance. He will always know how we are spiritually. God relies on heaven for this. This key of God is also the key that opens the doors to heaven. You will receive it through having a relationship with someone who knows God, and it will always look different depending on the angle you view it from. Your God does not give this key for inspiration alone. You do not become one of God's visionaries simply by believing you know how God is. One becomes a prophet by truly knowing Him. A prophet will also be able to contact God when there is something important. When this angle changed, you were looking down, and this was a symbol of the experience of the evolution of your soul. When we evolve spiritually, we will live in heaven for eternity when we die. And when we are an angel in heaven, we will be able to go back to any point in our life and try to help others who love us. We can help them grow spiritually so they can join us in heaven. This is the reason that some of our souls can live simultaneously in heaven. In effect, we can be seeing things from two different places and two different periods of time. If there were only one perception of God, then we could not truly evolve spiritually. Let's explain this better. You are at a point in your life where much of your life has been corrupted by evil, but you changed later in life and became spiritual enough to make it to heaven. And when you are in heaven, your perception of God is always right because you have spiritually evolved. When you look down, you can choose a time in your life and go back to see what kind of perception you had at any point in your physical life. You can actually go back to any of your previous lives and see what your perception of God was. This is what the dream was about. God will always count on heaven to help us change our perception of Him before we get to heaven. Without heaven, we could not become spiritual enough for heaven, and everything would be evil. If we never changed our perception of God, then we would be very confused in heaven as we learn new things. And we have learned that when we have confusion, it is evil, even for the angels in heaven. You have a Bible that teaches a perception of God in Christianity. There was help from heaven for that particular time. And Jesus was there to help people change spiritually because their perception of God was not very positive. The world was very confused about spirituality, and God knew there was much tribulation coming. However, humanity still wasn't ready for God's truth, and spiritually they were not allowed to grow as they were labeled heretics, tortured, and killed. Throughout history, we have seen this happen many times. We know that Jesus tried to change all of this, but His time was cut short on earth before He completed His mission. And this was not something God wanted to happen. God's first law is the preservation of life, and it has been since the beginning of creation. We will gain a better understanding of this law as we grow spiritually, and we will give you many examples of this as we move forward here. When civilization as a whole is not growing spiritually, it becomes more difficult to reverse all the evil on earth from heaven. When evil is rampant throughout civilization, there will be no compassion for life, and there will be a lot of religious evil in regions throughout God's world. So now the question is the world ready to rely on God to teach them through this religion and unite with the angels in heaven so we can reverse this evil? We must prepare for Jesus' return and gather the people who know what His mission will be in this world. You can be sure that Jesus is returning soon with all the miracles He has shown in the past. And this religion has been sent from heaven to prepare us for His return. You will be able to experience some of these miracles in preparation for His arrival. The way of the future lives in heaven, and you can help heaven preserve life through God's love. When we have a change in our perception, we will see it from an angle that we have not been shown before. And this angle is the angle that God wants to show everyone. When the angle is obscured by something evil, you will have to change it to get a clear view of God's truth and love. And when you have a true understanding of God's love, you will change your perception and be able to grow spiritually. So that brings us to the end of that dream transcription. To me, that felt more like a vision, and I'll explain why. In most religious experiences, a vision doesn't appear as a frightening apparition before your eyes. Instead, it comes as a clear image within your mind, a sudden flash of something you instinctively know carries meaning. It's vivid, unmistakable, and often prophetic, serving as a quick warning of something negative approaching, meant to prepare or protect you. So, that dream transcription was exactly as I recorded it in 2008, with a few grammar corrections. And it still holds to this day. I know there were a few symbols in that dream that I didn't cover yet. Keep in mind that when you ask for a dream and you receive one from God, you should always document what you are feeling during the dream as soon as possible, or you may forget it, even if it doesn't make sense at the time. If you feel confused or unsure about what happened next, that should be included as well. Often your dreams will come in sequences, a path to understanding something important over several days. And if you get a recurring dream, it's important to try to understand it. Once you do, it will usually stop and allow you to move on. Let's move on to a few early recordings from when my budgies were still finding their voices. Your ability to understand them depends on how familiar you've become with their accents. With repeated listening, more and more of their phrases begin to stand out.
First, let's start with one from Victor called The Lost World. This recording was done by Victor around 2000 or 2001. See if you can identify some of the prophetic messages that have already come into fruition within it. When there is something that is this important and it comes from God, it is imperative that it is accurate and done right. Unfortunately, there was a time when evil infiltrated our work and we needed to basically reevaluate and almost start from scratch. The confusion which resulted split the group that was involved, and Ryan spent the next 10 years or so getting a better understanding of how to use all the tools he was given, before he could move forward. So this next recording from Maylor identifies some of the problems we had in our group that emerged from some internal conflicts and confusion. In parts of this, Maylor is very clear and precise, however, there are some parts that he talks so fast, you will miss it, and the only way to hear it is slow it down in those areas. So if you have that capability in the program you're using, you may want to give it a try, for Ryan spent many hours translating this recording. Every phrase Maylor passes on has been analyzed with the utmost care. Now let's listen to the recording. Whether most people think that Ryan is a prophet or not, doesn't really matter to him. Even though the angels often refer to him as a prophet, he prefers to be known as a Christian mystic, who engages in prophecy, in several different ways. On top of that, he has problems and issues in life, as well as a need for more spiritual change to bring him closer to God. For example, this next recording of Danny, was one that Ryan chose off the cuff, because he wanted to add one recording from each budgie to this presentation. He felt it needed to be reviewed again. Little did he know, that in this recording, Danny would be talking about a recent upset that his family had, and how it was giving him advice and direction as a parent. We are not going to go into the details at this time, but everyone in his immediate family was going through some major difficulties at the time. It almost caused a total separation of the family. With the help of the angels, a month or two later, the family is back on track and things are much better. Although Ryan still has to make amends with his son, he is confident that through forgiveness, things will work out for the better. So now let's listen to this remarkable and intuitive recording from Danny.
Hey Danny, do you want to talk? I'll leave that right there for you. Talking or stop? Boy, that's a long one, Danny. Let me know when you're done.
Finally, we are going to get to the song reversal of Teach Your Children.
Fucking lost last never listen. Life's never happy. She's I get off it. It's the three shit. Oh, you met what you was next. How to love it that if the boy let's talk.
To close out this episode, I want to share a song reversal that's especially meaningful to our community. This one actually names visionaries who are part of this unfolding experience. We've heard before that just as my name comes through often, others will begin to hear their own names as well, and this reversal is a perfect example of that promise taking shape. What you're about to hear is a beautifully clear message, one of the clearest I've worked with, and it speaks directly to the visionaries who are learning from the teachings we're sharing here. It's a call, an invitation, and a reminder that these lessons aren't just information. They're guidance meant for those who are waking up to their role in all of this.
This next song, Stuck in the Middle with You, was released on Steelers Wheel's 1972 eponymous debut album. Jerry Rafferty provided the lead vocals, with Joe Egan singing harmony.
all my worst music. See if I'm up, I'm sick, get it out. Just it all my. We do him, they touch my sick. We do him, they touch my. Read the air with a sick voice. Be with that with a smile. It's what they going on my. I stumble off as I get it to my. It must leave for that. And the TV going now.
That completes this presentation. To hear more, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or visit our website at theangelscrolls.com.